Welcome to Auntie K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hi everyone, and welcome to Auntie K's Tarot. I am going to do a video today on dream work, specifically lucid dreaming. And this is a video that almost didn't get made because this little kitty, Buttons, traveled in my dreams with me last night and ended up being written into what I want to talk about here today. And then I almost found out she was getting rehomed, and I had to admit my own emotions and say, no, I really do want to keep this kitten. I'm emotionally attached to it. I'm dream attached to it. And I didn't want her to stay. So, all right. And it all got resolved because I eventually was pushed to speak up for myself. And now here we are to do this video, and I have written it out so that I cover everything. All right. Do the usual, like, comment, and subscribe. I will try and remember to put my Discord in to the comments, because that is the way that you can actually interact with me on a real basis. I have a free portion of my Discord and a Patreon portion, and most of it happens in the free portion, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. All right, here we go. Today we are going to be talking about how to lucid dream. This is going to be an instructional video. Lucid dreaming is something I consider to be pretty universal knowledge among all cultures. So I've put this together, editing out what belongs as specific traditional knowledge to my people and to other people that have shared with me their teachings, because they're not mine to teach. Lucid dreaming can be a gift, and it can be learned. Either way, training is always optimal. For me, I've been lucid dreaming since childhood, and I'm still going to say training is optimal. Spiritually, lucid dreaming is a great spiritual training ground, a place to receive long, clear spiritual instructions, and a place you can learn to do spirit or magic work. All right, so in how to enter lucid dreams, we're going to start with training. All right, the first one is daytime reality checks. Am I awake or am I dreaming? And you mostly want to say, am I dreaming? And while you're awake, the answer is I'm awake. You also want to do this when you're practicing visualizations, which we're going to get to. But visualizing is going to come into this. So you want to practice this in your waking life so that when you're in your dream life, asking yourself, am I dreaming, is a natural occurrence, and you do it in your dream life. It can be something like looking at your watch. Every time you look at your watch, am I dreaming? No, I'm not. I'm awake. And if you don't have a watch, you could use your phone and be like, Siri, open my lucid dreaming app. And when you're awake, Siri is not going to open your lucid dreaming app because you don't have one. Unless you do, then this won't work. And and then in your dream life, Siri would open your lucid dreaming app. Now, you do have to be able to visualize in your visualization practice what that will look like when you are in fact dreaming and Siri opens your dreaming app, or your watch shows you that you are dreaming. So like I said, you can snap your fingers. Did I say that yet? You can snap your fingers, and you want to hold your hand in front of you so that you see it, because when you're lucid dreaming, you're going to see through your own eyes. And when you're awake, there's no spark, but when you're asleep, you would see a spark. If you have a wand, take it to bed with you and visualize being able to produce a visual spell, such as sparks or lighting up the end of your wand. course, when you're awake, I'm assuming the majority of you can't do that, and so it won't happen. And but in your dream life, it will. But you have to be able to visualize it. And if it's not something you've seen before, it might be hard. You've definitely seen it in movies, pictures. So go Google and get it so you can visualize it, and then close your eyes and visualize what that would look like, and make it part of your visual training. So the other benefit of a wand or the finger method for folks who want to enhance their spiritual or magical abilities is that when you lucid dream this on a regular basis, you're going to change your belief in your abilities. Western society has stolen the belief or the unconditional faith in magic, which is the very thing needed for real and strong magic. It's the difference between a glamour that boosts how you see yourself and a real outward glamour that others can actually see. So a glamour is a good example because the limitations are you. They're yourself. Like, I can produce a glamour that's as strong as makeup or a hair dye, or don't notice the stains on my shirt, but I can't produce a glamour that changes my teeth because they're a really strong point of internal insecurity. In my case, it's also potentially the payment of a very strong curse I once set, in which case solving my insecurity also won't be a solution. But the point is, you want to do things that will enhance like what your abilities in your waking life will also be. Maybe a glamour wasn't a great example because one of the things you don't want to do is concentrate on seeing your body in lucid dreaming. But you can do it via deciding how others can see you. It's a little bit of it would be tricky because of how you'd have to do it, and we'll get to that. So okay, back to strengthening magical abilities, training, and belief. I have a few things to cover here. You might actually find it really difficult to visualize a visible spell out of the end of your fingers or wand. So like I said, look at pictures and visualize this. Then think of other things you can't do in reality, like conjure a door, change the day to night upon saying so, transportation from one place to another, flying. On that note, flying can actually be more difficult in a lucid dream than in reality. So having a broom with you can actually be really helpful because you can visualize how you would fly on a broom, and it's something you've seen in your waking life in movies and pictures. If you want to transfigure into an animal and have no experience doing it, consider an animal you have or can build a real life connection to, like a cat or a crow, but probably not an elephant or a condor as seen on TV and in books and zoos. That's not a real connection. A real connection, go build one. Otherwise, what you're likely to feel is more like you're riding the animal, as in you won't see yourself still, but you won't be seeing through the animal's eyes. It will be more like seeing through the animal's head, because your head's like actually here or like here on the shoulder. It's still cool, and it can feel like, maybe I've turned into this animal. You can definitely fool yourself a bit there, but the experience of it will be the experience of you as a human versus you as an animal. If you're white, go to your local magic shops or spiritualism centers until you find folks with something more than spell jars who can teach you techniques that hopefully aren't stolen. And actually, that's useful advice in most of what we cover here. Go find some folks who are in a place to teach you, who have more than spell jars to offer. All right. When visualizing, look around slowly. All right. Likely there isn't much there at first. So you want to focus, right? So on what you're seeing here, there's me. There's a white fan. There is this wall hanging. There's a picture. There's something over it. There's wood paneling behind it. There's, a cushion in a window with red drapery. Over here, there's a fireplace with a painting. There's, things along here, books, a basket. There's window space where you can see outside. There's a ceiling. You want to build it up, all right? So, it might be focusing first, and there's grass, there's moss, there's flowers, trees, mushrooms, fallen trees, a sapling, a brook. You look, there's a shed with all the things you might need. Handy thing to visualize, by the way. Or maybe you're in a more urban setting, heading to someone's house. Do the same and fill in the details. A knapsack of all your belongings might be of use. Practice doing this, as you will need to do this as you prepare for sleep and when you are lucid dreaming. You'll be in your conscious mind, and you're going to need to fill in more of the blanks to bring this into feeling more like reality. These are things we don't notice because we just expect it to be there when we're awake. But since you are visualizing and later will be dreaming, you have to pay attention in order to put them into the lucid dream. If you're dreaming yourself into a spirit plane, know how you're getting there and how you're getting back, and visualize it in a way that is easy to do. Don't make it in a way that is easy to do. Do not make it complicated. And then visualize the details of this plane. It's also not a blank canvas. All right? And believe. You can't do this if you don't believe you can. You can jump from a skyscraper in your regular subconscious dreams easy. But in lucid dreams, your conscious is in play and doubts if you can fly. It wonders if you should jump, and that will keep you from the visualization needed. You are in your consciousness, but you are also, and most importantly, in a dream. All right. Other helpful tools. Mugwort. Mugwort tea is a tea that can enhance your dream work. And you can get instructions for how to take mugwort anywhere in a pretty safe reality. Having a cup before bed to empty your bladder can greatly aid in most dream work tasks, especially when combined with ritual, which much of these instructions are or can be. And this is also a really good place to take this to a place of ritual. Ritual aids belief. Ritual says, I'm bringing in something greater than my humanness. Ritual takes time to imbue intent through your thoughts and or actions. Ritual sends our desires as a call out beyond the physical into a realm the mind is much more greatly equipped for than our consciousness believes is possible. So prepare your tea, clean your room, sweep it out, get it ready for bed, put things away, tidy it up, close your closets, get into your sleeping clothes, bring and arrange into your room anything you will need for the night or the morning, like your dream journal. Set an alarm for 3 a.m. if you plan to do a mid-sleep wake, which we'll talk about later. Make an offering and bring your tea to bed. You might wish to make an offering out into the night and then bring your tea to bed, or you might wish to place the offering under your pillow and then dispose of it in the morning after you've journaled. Some places to dispose of this are in a fire, the crossroads, at the edge of your property, off an apartment balcony, or buried in the earth. All right. Notice I never mentioned sage or smudging as part of the cleaning or preparation. If you're not indigenous to the Americas, this practice really does not belong to you. And you should not smudge or use sage. Colonialism has wreaked havoc on this plant through genocide, capitalism, and appropriation. It is stolen, and it will not bring you good energy. Partially because the plant has no responsibility to bring you any good energy, and also because of folks like me who speak up for the protection of the plant people, and we have a responsibility. I want to form that into more of a head to these plants, and many of us are going to take that responsibility very seriously and use powerful intent and magics to make sure that when you do this, all that you have done to this plant, all the impacts of colonialism, capitalism, and appropriation are going to come back on to you. And that the havoc of these tools of whiteness that you have used against these plants are going to bounce off them and back onto you. Mitaku Asen. All right. Spiritual request. This is the kind of paper we're going to talk about in a moment. All right. Spiritual request. Have a purpose. This can help you focus on getting into the dream and can help you know what to do once you are there. Your initial reaction might be surprise. Oh, wow, I really am lucid dreaming. I can't believe it. That surprise can make you not sure what to do next, and you end up with a very boring dream. If you are lucid dreaming for a purpose, which really should be the point, you will want to remember this enough to do it. Writing out a spiritual request of what you want to explore or understand is very helpful. Like any spiritual request, you should give an offering of some kind in return. It could be some of your tea, a coin, tobacco, a crystal, tourmaline, fluorite, etc. Writing out a spiritual request on paper and placing it under your pillow with an offering folded within is also a powerful aid in addition to ritual. In this case, dispose of the offering in the morning. Natural paper like brown paper bag that I just used is ideal. If you're at the point of doing spirit work in your dream, put within the spiritual request what you want to accomplish. Excellent. All right. Technique when in bed for sleep. First of all, you're not usually going to go into REM right away unless you're really overly tired. One thing you can do is set an alarm to wake you up briefly in the middle of the night, and I suggest 3 a.m. as previously mentioned. Either way, start your night off in a relaxing position, ready to go to sleep. We talked about things to visualize and how to visualize. But now we're going to talk about visualizing into your dream. Visualize where you want to be. For me, I find it helpful if I'm walking towards a special place that place is usually where I will start my lucid dream. Visualize getting ready for this dream. You might have an animal familiar. I have a dog, and due to cultural reasons, she doesn't do dream work with me. But last night, one of my kittens, who we saw earlier, came and joined me in the pocket of my dress. So consider this visualization before bed. Flesh it out really well, because the journey needs to take longer than it takes for you to fall asleep. It is helpful if you visualize up to the point of meeting a person or guide, or someone you're wanting to interact with. Now, here's a part of the trick. While in this relaxed state to go to bed, in visualizing this place or journey to this place, you intend to begin your lucid dream. You want to try and stay conscious. The goal is to stay conscious in your mind only, so don't fidget. If you have to like scratch yourself, you got itchy, do it, but try and get out of you and stay relaxed. And don't think about your body too much. You want to stay in your mind and in what your visualization is. And you also don't want to mentally fidget. So you don't want to be super busy in your mind either. Rather, you're staying present, soaking it all in, making sure you see all those details all around you. And that's why you've been visualizing this in training before you went to bed. Once you are lucid dreaming, you will most likely have a sense of having just done some part of this over again. And now you dream check. All right. In the morning, waking and journaling. Keep a journal or notepad and pen by your bed, because it is easier to recall everything before you start moving around. Leave it open or put the pen in the page where you want to start, so you're not flipping through looking for it. When you wake up, do a reality check. Am I awake? Am I dreaming? And you are awake. So that A is part of that practice for recognizing when you're dreaming. But that wake up reality check is going to come into play later. All right. And then once you've done your reality check, journal things, write it down. Make sure you have space at the top, not just for the date, but to end up giving it a title to define if it was lucid or not. And if you went in with a purpose, do note if you accomplished that purpose. All right. Tips. Lay off the weed. It doesn't help. That's actually how I make sure I get regular sleep. Start slow and get used to it. Practice so you can stay in the dream and hold on to it when awake. And it's probably not likely to happen your first time or all the time, so don't give up. All right, we're going to go over some lucid dream don'ts. And when hearing these things, you want to learn them as a never instead of a don't, because a don't can be jumbled as a do, but I will and I never, they're not going to become jumbled. So this becomes lucid dream nevers. And we're going to start with the easy ones first. Never close your eyes too long, because you're going to wake up. Never try to look at yourself. When you think of your body, you generally are going to wake up. Maybe fully or maybe just briefly, but then you're going to be back into subconscious dreams. All right. Now you are going to be able to see your hands and sometimes your feet or other parts in front of you as you lucid dream, but they're going to take place from the position of looking out of your eyes. Subconscious dreaming can be much more disembodied, and you might be yourself, you might be someone else, or a narrator self-observing your bodied self. So that's why you don't want to pay too much attention to your body. One, it can wake you up, and then you're back into subconscious dreaming. Okay, next, never go to the bathroom. It's a dream. You don't actually have to go to the bathroom, but if you do, you're likely to pee the bed and wake up partway through. And this is really related to paying attention to your body. All right. So also don't practice like lucid dreaming for your first several times with like a partner in the bed with you. All right. Never doubt your dream abilities. They limit you, and they can lead to a lucid nightmare because the dream life becomes out of control, and that adds to your fear. You want to choose your thoughts and dreams wisely, and you want to believe in your abilities so that whatever you come up against in the lucid dream, you can very easily handle by changing it or making it not there anymore. And this leads very directly into the big nevers. Never murder, except in self-defense. But never purposely lucid dream yourself into dangerous situations where this is a likelihood. If you do end up in such a situation, demand yourself to wake up or for the dangerous person or situation to disappear. You should be in control in a lucid dream and able to do this. Don't go off on a revenge fantasy in a lucid dream, tracking down your past or current abuser, etc. You don't want to end up in a situation where you are in a place where you have to defend yourself and might need to murder or want to murder an abuser, because lucid dreaming happens in your conscious mind, and you will carry the emotional based impacts of that murder into your waking life. Unlike regular dreams, lucid dreams happen with a consciousness and not just a subconscious. So you will remember it, you will feel it, and you will hurt from it. Never try to relive memories, because you can change your memory of it and not realize it. Imagine dreaming a difficult memory that you want to change. It seems like a great idea, and it can be in subconscious dreaming, whose job is to do that, and it frequently happens very safely there. But lucid dreaming is your conscious mind, and you can change your actual memory of the situation. So say you asked your friend if they were interested in changing the friendship to something more romantic or sexual, and they say no. And then you dream over and over in your lucid dream that you and your friend have a bit of a secret romance going on, because in your lucid dream, they said yes. Because in your lucid dream, they said yes. And a week goes by of you having all these memories of the two of you stealing kisses and greeting each other in romantic ways. And at this point, you think they are real, and you kiss them without consent, seemingly out of nowhere. And they are upset, and you can't figure out why, because the two of you have been doing this for weeks now, because also time is different in dreams. And they don't know where you got this idea that this has been going on for weeks, especially after they had specifically told you no. On top of everything else, they think there's something seriously wrong with your mental health, and you have these deluded ideas about reality, and guess what? You do. Also, an important reason to journal. This happened to me as a child, and at this point I started keeping a journal and a dream journal to know the difference, but not without having landed myself in trouble at home and at school several times. As a psychiatrist, because they absolutely hauled me off to a psychiatrist, did manage to figure out I was lucid dreaming and explain what I had done. But more dangerously for a trauma survivor, I had just given very reasonable doubt to anything I would claim in the future. And yes, this did seriously haunt me in the future. All right. Never go to sleep in your lucid dreams. You can get stuck because it becomes a dream within a dream. And sometimes you just wake up on the second try after realizing you're still in a dream, but more frequently it can loop and freak you out. This is called false awakenings. Doing reality checks in the morning can also help you create an out for false awakenings, because you'll say, am I awake or am I dreaming? I'm dreaming. And you're like, oh, shit. And it can help wake you up. And you can say to yourself to wake up. Never look in mirrors. This is similar but different. Mirrors can be portals. We cover them in ceremonies. I believe other people probably do too. The less mirrors you look into in regular life, the less likely you're to do so while you're lucid dreaming. But if you are looking in a mirror, say to yourself, never look in mirrors when you dream. And then when you're dreaming, you are much less likely to look at yourself in a mirror once you know you're dreaming. Portals can be similar to a false awakening. If you can't control the portal, it can be hard to get out of it and to wake up. Also, portals allow other things in, perhaps something you weren't asking for or prepared for, and this can also lead to a lucid nightmare. Never lucid dream every night. Your mind does in fact need rest. There's this really unhealthy and secular-based idea out there that lucid dreaming means you aren't wasting your sleep hours. And this is strongly rooted in white supremacy's need for productivity and urgency. Sleep is not a waste. It is important for your body and your mind to fully rest. It's important for your subconscious mind to figure out some things without you. I'm a dream worker. It's a natural gift that leads to me lucid dreaming most of the time, unless I consciously try not to. Because if I don't end up with enough subconscious time in my sleep, and I end up exhausted for it. I do use weed, like I said, to help me get a near regular night's sleep. And last, never be afraid of the nevers. Okay, I know it's a pretty lengthy list, but that said, these are things we usually never do in our dreams anyway, except murder, kind of. Murder in dreams is more like being a comic book hero or anti-hero, where their death isn't exactly at your hands or on purpose. It might be the results of their own attempt to murder and it bounces off you back onto them, or they just end up bound or restrained and out of the way. So you aren't likely to do any of those things accidentally. Also, unless you're thinking about it, which is why we discussed not doing it and not going into revenge fantasies. Also, lucid dreaming is your conscious mind. So once the nevers are learned, and they are things that you will know. And as such, you're going to recognize that in your lucid dreaming practice. All right. So we got through it. I hope all of this was really helpful for folks. And I hope you, figure out how to do some lucid dreaming that will take you to new levels in your spiritual journey and in your waking journey.